please put your hands together and give a warm welcome to stage, Mr. Marcus Dean. Alright. How's it going? Good. Nice. Didn't ask me how I was, but fine. We'll move past it. Thanks for coming. Welcome to my show. I'm Marcus Dean. My show is called Foreigner. Lace pointer. No expense spared. Yeah. 15 quid, Amazon. Pretty good. Only the second time I've used it, actually. First time was trying to blind that goalkeeper in a Euros. Missed, but new hobby, so quite good. This is all about my time living in China. Lived there from 2014 to 2016 in a city called Changsha in Hunan province. It was great. I was a teacher. Learned a lot when I was there. Kind of counterintuitive because supposed to be doing the teaching, but that's fine. Learned Mandarin. Really useful, because before that, I could only speak Satsuma, so... Now I can converse with all citrus-based fruits, so... Dead good. But yeah, the best parts of Mandarin you don't learn from lessons, you learn them from the people. I was hanging out with a couple of my students at uni, wasn't weird, and I said the words bingo wings in front of them, and they were like, Max, because they can't say my name. They don't understand it's two syllables, so they just go, Max, as if I'm like fucking Karl Marx, the father of modern communism, which they love over there. Ego boost. But they were like, Max, what is bingo wings? So I was like, yeah, what's the bit of your skin that moves about when you chuck the old arms about, isn't it? And they said, oh, we have a similar word in Chinese. I was like, oh yeah, what is it? She said, it roughly translates to bye-bye meat. What? And she said, it's because it's the part of the body that moves when you wave bye-bye. That's fucking sick, isn't it? That's so much better. That's all I use now. That is all I use. But yeah, the show's called Foreigner, which I realised, bit rich, white. But over there, it is true. China, massive country. Last numbers had it at 1.4 billion people. Massive. Of that number, 99% of the people that live there are Chinese. 100% true, not a joke. It's a figure so high, it would make Nigel Farage cum blood. Yeah. He would love it over there. Well, full of Chinese people in it, fucking hate it. He would fucking hate it. But of that number, 91% are one race. They're Han Chinese, the dominant race. 8% are ethnic minorities who hold Chinese passports, leaving just 1% as foreigners, like me. To put that further into context, a jellyfish is 95% water. What's that got to do with China? Yeah, nothing. Yeah. But tonight's just as much about learning as it is laughing. So get your notebooks out. Get your notebooks out. Okay, no notebooks, didn't read the tickets, fine. That's okay. But yeah, I did. I moved there. I was a teacher. When I decided to go, wasn't a long-held ambition of mine, was not. Wasn't something I'd planned on doing. It was at a party, I was 22 years old, and my mate told me, I'm going to China. I was smashed off my head. I went, yes, sounds good. And he was like, make you sleep on it. And I did, slept on it, and still wanted to go because it sounded easier than a proper job, didn't it? Go over there, teach them some slang, show them Mulan. Fucking get in. Dead good. Easy. And I decided to go. Now, even though it wasn't an ambition of mine, wasn't a goal, when I started to think about it, I got more excited. I started to think, oh yeah, new chapter, new me. And I did what all of us would do in that situation. And I went straight online to ASOS, ordered some white jeans. Give them a go. Nothing says new year, new me, quite like easily stained denim. So ordered them, they arrived, instantly knew, nah, they're gonna look fucking stupid. So, ready to send them back. But just as I did, my housemate from uni walked in, and he's like, oh, white jeans, bit different, try them on. But I knew they were going back. You know, something you just know. You don't need to try them on, you just know. And I didn't want to try them on in front of him, because that gives him material for his 1 hour show next week. No. And I didn't want to do that, so I clung to something. I was like, can't, mate, because they're for China, aren't they? He went, they're for China? I was like, yeah, white jeans specifically for China. Can't move them out there, honestly, yeah. All right, yeah, fine. And he just believed me until I came back and told him I never wore them and threw them out. So now, every time he sees somebody with white jeans, he's like, oh, white jeans, must have been a China. Do you know him? Little prick. Yeah, he never lets me forget it. But I got there, and yeah, arrived at Changsha, my school, on the outskirts of town, like really far out. Where I was probably the only foreigner for about 3 miles. Nobody else there. My road was 2 car dealerships and a pack of stray dogs. That was it. They were good lads, to be fair. But that was where I lived. And it was a bit of an ordeal. It was a bit of an ordeal because everyone has to sort of, they other you because you're different. And they showed me around the school, and they showed me to the apartment. And they showed me their apartments first. And there was 4 teachers living in one room, double bunk beds in one room, like genuine adults. They were like 35 living in double bunk beds. I felt really bad. I was like, fucking hell, what's mine gonna look like? No, just joking. And they took me to mine, and I had 2 bedrooms. I had 2 bedrooms, a living room, a bathroom, and a study. And it was like, oh, fucking hell. Like, my apartment was 10 times the size of theirs, and I was feeling really guilty. But then I thought, I get paid 10 times more, so makes sense. Fiscally responsible. So, but they were showing me around, and they were apologising. They were saying, "We're really sorry, Max." Because still couldn't get it. They said, "We're really sorry, but at the moment you've only got an eastern toilet, and I'll level with you guys. Wasn't always the beacon of culture you see before you know." Yeah, hard to believe. So I didn't know what that was. And I was feeling guilty because, I basically lived in a mansion. And I said to her, "Won't worry about it, love. Won't worry about it. East, west, north, south, I'll shit anywhere. No worries." Wasn't until I got to the bathroom where I realised eastern toilet, hole in the ground. Isn't it? Yeah, you all knew that because you're smart. And trigger warning, first photo of the show, I wasn't good at cleaning at 22. I'm not good at cleaning at 29. So this is the bathroom. Yeah. And if you're looking for an answer to the question, why is there an apple there? Ain't got it. My friend took this and sent it to me, so no idea. But yeah, so not great. And I'm going to tell a story about this bathroom, but I realise you probably don't want to look at that while I'm telling it. So we'll just change it to a photo of me eating a cornetto outside a Buddhist temple. Culture. So there we go. So the toilet, 2 things you need to know. 1, I am not flexible in the slightest. 2, I'm incredibly hairy. Not there, but everywhere else, gorilla, like mad. So, the toilet, that bit will come into play later. The toilet, most of the time is okay. I've got a pipe this side, got a wall this side. I can lower myself in, no problems. But when I was drunk, different story. So I was coming home one night, completely out of my head, and trying to bend down, falling over, falling left and right. And remember, falling in fucking that, all right? So, not great, but... Trigger warning, sorry, that was late. And I was falling all over the gaff, and I was like, I can't do it, but I really need a shit. So I just sat down. Over the hole. Over that hole. Sorry, do you want to see it again? Over that hole, I just sat flat, bare-assed on that hole and just let it all out. Yeah. And because I was drunk, good. I feel sick. And again, wasn't the most diligent in wiping. Went to bed shortly after. Now you know the phrase, you catch more flies with honey than you do with vinegar. You catch more shit smeared between your ass cheeks. That's true. That is true. Yeah. Most on-brand story you're going to hear. Yeah, bit of fun. So they after they showed me my apartment, they took me around the rest of the school, and they showed me my office, and I started to panic a bit because it looked like that. The Office of Foreign Affairs. Some fucking Dominic Raab. Like, what is going on? I've got Mulan under it on DVD. Like, what? Huh? Having a laugh, aren't you? But the more I thought about it, the more I started to understand. They'd given me a serious, official-looking office for my serious, official lessons. Like cricket. Because that's what's holding the Chinese back, isn't it? Their knowledge of a 5-day sport. I don't think they would have learned anything, but even if one student went away from there learning something, that'd be nice for me. You know, later in life, he's just looking out the window, going, "Oh, bit cloudy out there, isn't it? Good for spin bowling, that." That's what I hope. That's what I hope. So, like I said, only foreigner for like 3 miles. So when I left my apartment, I was swamped, absolutely swamped. So it mostly looked like this. Everyone's just really fucking happy to see you. Everyone's just absolutely loving it. Like, everyone wants a photo, everyone's in. Unless you're that kid. fucking hated me. Look at him. Miserable prick. But it was good. They'd run up to you and they want to practice their oral English. They go, "Hey, Marks, can I practice my oral English?" I was like, "Yeah, of course you can. No problem." And first thing you got to do, greet them. Talk to them, right? What's your name? So you have to give them English names so they can assimilate. So they can, when they come over to Western countries and they have a name. Most of them are normal. Boys are normal. They call themselves Bob, Dan, Nick. Fine, no worries. Girls go down a different route. Girls tend to name themselves after prostitutes. They're called Cherry, Candy, or Angel. Genuinely. Very worrying. A lot of disappointed dads out there. And then you get to the mad ones. So I had a few kids with some mad names. One of them was called Tank. And believe me, he was. Big boy. He could have picked me up. Tank. There was one who thought he was an Edwardian gentleman, called himself Cyril. Never met a Cyril in my life. Did suit him though, had a flat cap. And then one I liked so much, I'd never seen it before, that I had to take a photo of the little slip he handed it in to my lesson. He called himself Big Pig. Pig wasn't enough. You got to know the size of the pig. Yeah, Big Pig. But my personal favourite, purely for how mundane it was a kid who called himself Bench. Like what? He was just reading some PE exercise book and went, "Bench, oh yeah, it's something that people sit on. Ah, what a rotter. What a gross boy." Because sit on his face and that. Yeah, fair. Scrap that one. Bench was funny enough, leave him on a high. That's alright. But it wasn't all fun and names. Wrote that on the way in. It wasn't all fun and names. Sometimes it was serious. I had one kid, grade 9, so they'd given themselves English names 2 years before I was even there. And I asked them to, rather than paper, I asked them to tell me their names. And in a class full of 50 people, massive classes out there, he said his name was Hitler. Yeah, really bad. Genuinely awful. He said it out loud the kids over here who spoke really good English, they fucking loved it. They thought it was hilarious. The kids over here who spoke, and I think they forgive me for saying dog shit English, like, they're just over here waiting for me to put Mulan back on. Second half! The Huns are coming! They're like, yeah, they're just waiting for that. And I didn't want to embarrass him, you know, first lesson with the kid, didn't want to embarrass him, so I thought I'll wait to the end of the lesson. And I did wait to the end of the lesson, and, you know, it's just me and him, and I'm like, look, mate, Hitler, yeah? Quite a bad bloke, you know, bit of a meanie, all things considered. And if I'm honest, calling a 14-year-old child Hitler for the rest of the year, gonna go bonkers, literally gonna go mad. So next lesson, come in, new name, all right, new name. And fair play to him, agreed, no worries. Next lesson, come in, taking the register. Cyril, Tank, Big Pig, all here, legends. Always early. I come down to the next one. And I say, hit, no, not that, is it, mate? Not that. What we gone for then, mate? What we gone for? And you knew something bad was coming. Because he looked over here, at the kids who spoke good English. He looked at them, looked me dead in the eye, and said, Adolf? Yeah, not Adolf actually. yeah, not fucking Adolf, is it? Yeah. Anything but Adolf. Anything but Adolf and Hitler, obviously. And if you dare fucking say Mussolini, I'll open you up. You piece of shit cunt. Fucking hated him. Genuinely fucking hated him. I can still see his face. Had a little moustache, prepubescent prick. Get the name now. Alright. Yeah. So, pick a new name, and you knew how calculated he was. Because it took him 3 seconds to look back at me again and say, topical. No, he looked back at me and he said, Dave? From Adolf to Dave in 3 seconds. That's how much of a prick that kid was. He had it in his back pocket the whole time. Piece of shit. Fucking genuinely hate him. Hope he's dead. Don't care. But it wasn't just him. I had a couple of Nazi-adjacent run-ins, which it's not a sentence I thought I'd say, if I'm honest. Yeah. Second one with an adult, so worse, was with a guy. His name's Mr. Gow. He ran this speech competition that I was a judge at a couple of years, and having dinner. Very, very nice guy, and he pulls out his lighter and his cigarettes, and on the lighter is a swastika. And I'm like, oh, here we go. This will be fun. But, you know, it's weird when that happens because your senses get heightened, right? You're just like instantly like, swastika, fucking Nazi, killed the Nazi break. Like genuinely instant, you're like, Nazi. But I didn't want to do that because he was a nice man. He organised this whole thing. And also, it comes from, you know, Buddhism, doesn't it? And Hinduism, originally. That's where that symbol comes from. So give him the benefit of the doubt. And also, pay me quite a lot of money. Don't kill the golden goose. let him lay the egg. Then kill the egg. No. But I thought I'll phrase it nicely. I'll say, oh, is that interesting lighter for starters? Is that from Buddhism or Hinduism? And he instantly was like, nah. Nazis. I was like, oh yeah, good one. But no, genuinely, I asked him, and he said he was a history buff. And from a historical point of view, he admires how such a small party garnered such a huge following. Genuinely, that's what he said. Like, mad. Because back in the day, I was massively into Lost Prophets. Loved them. Loved them. But as soon as that news comes out about Ian Watkins, off the iPod, innit? You know. And even if you do still like them, don't sing Rooftops at karaoke. Come on. Nobody else needs that. But the worst one by a distance, was a kid at that speech show, that speech competition. It was a talent segment. He came in playing the accordion, which already, like this kid, he had waistcoat, bow tie, sick, look a little snooker player, great. I'm already on board. Tucked it into the jeans, bit rascal, but fine. On those jeans, had a patch on his knee. On that patch It's a fucking swastika. Again. And I'm thinking, oh my God, this is systemic. Sorry, got a swastika fan in. But like, I'm starting to think, this is systemic. Like, this is a real problem. Because what the two options are, he was in the shop, he saw the swastika and thought, yeah, that's fine, my 11-year-old can wear that, no problems. Or they saw it and didn't know what it was. And in a way, that's worse, isn't it? Like, they haven't got the education, they don't know what it is. So I'm thinking all these things, it's systemic, it's a real problem. But at the back of my head, I can't help but just be like, as a kid, jeans in the patch, knee, swastika, neo-Nazi. Genuinely. Dead good. But they weren't all absolute pricks like Dave Hitler. They weren't. A lot of them were nice. A lot of them were nice. A lot of them were nice. Like these ones here. Oh, there you go. Oh yeah, trigger warning, I've got hair. Don't know if that's going to be an issue. Some people. But these ones here are from my training school in Beijing. And this one here is from my school, Camden language school. He loved me so much. Like, every time I came down, he'd go, Marks, I am your fans. Either he liked me so much, he said it twice, or he was schizophrenic. No idea. He did this other thing, where he'd run up to me and he'd say, photo. And I would take the photo. Obviously I'd take the photo, because fair, go for it. Only annoying thing was, he didn't have a phone. So, just got about 100 of these on my phone. Bit annoying. But no, they were, oh yeah, I mean, I guess this isn't very, not very GDPR friendly, is it, this? Yeah. Should have blurred them out, really, but they're in China, fuck them. What are you going to do? Got great firewall of China, no internet. Dead good. So, they weren't just sweet in person, they wrote you notes. Wrote you nice little notes, very cute. This was a note here from Iris. So, she starts the letter with, haha. Not what I taught her. Shit student, really. No. She said, haha, my name is Iris. Funny name, be fair. Maybe she was laughing. I'm an outgoing girl. I like to smile very much. My favourite fruit is apple. I think apple is happy fruit. Oh. And my favourite sport is swimming. I swim very much. Then she gives me her phone number. Bit awkward. And again, probably should have blurred it out for GDPR, but I didn't, did I? So just don't call it, all right? Don't call it. Well, probably be 18 now, so. I'm married, all right? I don't need it. My next one is my favourite note, and genuinely, it doesn't need jokes. You don't need jokes with this letter, you just need to read it, so I'm going to read it. Hi, Macy's. Hello, I'm Table. English name is Table. Thanks. Thank you. Table. Man, a few words. Genuinely, his name was Table. Fucking sick. Couldn't separate him from Bench. Best friends. Best buds. And they got into a habit of writing notes that they started leaving them on desks for me. So this was a nice one. Fuck your mother every day. I'm just, yeah, I get a bit emotional looking at that. Not a single spelling mistake. Very good. Very good. So, at the end of your first year, midway through your first year, any year, you go for Chinese New Year. You get holiday. You get paid holiday just to go travelling. They call it Spring Festival. And it's great, you just get paid to travel. It's amazing. So, there's a lot to see. A lot to see when you move around China. And you see sites like the Great Wall. Amazing. Great Wall, brilliant. You see sites like the Bird's Nest Stadium. Lovely. Yeah, part of the Olympic Park. Really good. I was really impressed by the whole Olympic Park when I was there. I thought it was amazing. Like the amount of work that's gone into it. And then last year, moved to Stratford. Not as good now. See this shit every day. Yeah, not that good. And of course, how can you leave China? How can you leave China without seeing the one, the only, cheese fish? Genuine menu item I saw, it says cheese, comma, fish. I'll level with you, the comma's not helping. It really isn't. And this leads me on to my next bit. So my favourite thing to see around China, one of, was what you would call Chinglish, right? So I'd never mock a Chinese person for their spoken English because, much better than my Chinese. But written down on a menu, on a billboard, on a poster, get a native person to check it. Like, come on, it's not hard. And I'm going to show you my favourite examples. Saying that, actually, before I move on, cheese fish, not one of them, is it? Is it a fish? Is it made from cheese? Cheese fish. Smashed it. Don't know what else you could have called it, if I'm honest. Yeah, my favourite photo. Next one, so first one. Please show some mercy while plants are smiling. Aww. Just a polite way of saying, keep off the fucking grass. Quite nice. This next one, so for context, it's a national park called Zhangjiajie. Amazing, when they filmed Avatar, sick. Looks out at this thing, it's called like the Four Fingers. It's like floating mountains coming from the ground, brilliant. UNESCO site of outstanding beauty. They called it catfishing. No relevance whatsoever, unless they just really love MTV. No idea. So you got that one. You got this one which says, it's civilised to get close to urinate. And you know what? As long as that sign's in the toilet, I can't argue. Yeah. This the next one, they just gave up. It's just errors. Vahicles and Pats. Like, they just gave up halfway through, didn't they? Like, genuinely. But the last one is my favourite because it doesn't fit any of those other moulds. So the moulds are like what? They're overly formal, or use the wrong word, or spelling errors. This last one, none of them. It genuinely does something so wrong, it's just baffling. And yeah, here it is. So they've got it completely right, flopped it on backwards. And it's a hotel. So they've got no Western guests at all, unless someone is walking past at that exact moment with a mirror. Ah, that looks good, doesn't it? Yeah, try that. Idiots. But they love taking photos over there, lots to take photos of, so that makes sense. But they don't always just take photos of the places, they take photos of each other, like great posers. They love it. Weddings over there, very different. Weddings, and it's not just China, a lot of cultures do it. They go to a landmark, right? They go to a place of interest in their wedding garb, the bride and the groom, and they take photos before, and then they show them at the wedding. Yeah, so that's what they do. It's a little bit different. I hadn't heard of it before I went there. I thought, a bit weird, isn't it? Bit weird, that. And then I went... No joke there, but that's all right. I'll take it. I went to my first Chinese wedding. I looked around and I saw 10 dudes wearing Crocs and t-shirts, just smoking fags. And I was like, yeah, fair play. I wouldn't want to take photos here either. Fucking shit, innit? Get me to the Eiffel Tower. But no, and that's genuinely what it's like. And everywhere they go, they take one photo of the place, 10 photos of themselves, and that's genuinely how it goes. And it's not just the people, it's not just like teens, it's not just people on TikTok, well, probably banned over there, isn't it? But it's not just that, it's everyone. And I'm going to give you a little bit of information just because the photo probably isn't the best quality. But one thing you need to know about this woman in these set of photos, she is 70 years old. So this is a place called Go. National park again, beautiful, frozen waterfalls, frozen lakes. She thought, nah, get me a sexy sit down. Yeah, let me give you those fuck me eyes. She was like, yeah, but you know what? That's Miss February. I can give you Miss July. You want Miss July? Yeah. I'll give you Miss July. Oh yeah, we want Miss July. Here's Miss July for you. Look at that. Yeah. Look how flexible she is. She would have no problems on my toilet. None. Look at her, fucking Spider-Gram. Dead good. But yeah, she loved it. She loved it. From there, so that's in Go, that's near like Chengdu where all the pandas are, pretty sick. From there, went to a place called Huahaute, which is anglicised as Hohhot. Thank God, because I don't want to say that all the time. And it's the capital of Inner Mongolia. So it's not Mongolia the country, it's part of China. And everybody was telling me, you have to go to Hohhot. You have to go to Hohhot. And I was like, all right, yeah, I'll fucking go, shut up. Enough people were telling me that I stopped listening to the second part of the sentence. So they were saying, you have to go to Hohhot. You have to go to Hohhot. I was like, yeah, I'm already going, all right, fine. And I stopped listening to the last two words, which were, in summer. We went in January. There you go. So this is my friend Andy, outside with his beard for about 2 minutes before that happens, like genuinely. Highs of minus 26. That was highs. And over here, this is a place why most people go to Hohhot or Inner Mongolia. It's called the grasslands. Huh? Having a laugh. This down here, what's that? Oh yeah, it's just your friendly neighbourhood frozen sewage. Sick. And shit. So pretty good. We went there, and the first alarm bell was probably, well, we went to the hostel, and you know, every province has a different dialect. In Mongolia, particularly different, because they speak more like the Mongols. I can say that because I'm talking about them. And you go there, and I knew something was up when I thought I heard the words, "Are they thick?" What are they doing here? And we asked them, can we go on the tour? You know, 3-day tour usually. You go through the grasslands, you go on horses, horse riding, and you do archery. And I was like, yeah, cut me off a bit of that, lovely. Can we go on this tour? And she was like, bit cold. She lives there. Bit cold. And she said, oh, you can only go on a 1-day tour. So we were like, oh, okay, well, we were here for 4 days, so yeah, we might as well. So we'll go on the 1-day tour. And the next alarm bell was when she said, oh yeah, what time do you want to go? You're running a tour. Every tour I've ever been on in my life, get up at 7, miss the coach, you can't come, you know? And she was like, oh, when can you be asked, you know? When can you be asked for it, mate? And so we thought, you know, it's still a tour, even though it's just us. And we were like, oh, we'll go at 9, is that all right? And she was like, yeah, fine. I was like, okay, do you need to wait and see if anyone else is going to book on it? She's like, won't worry about it. It's not going to happen. Okay, yeah, pick us up then. And so we got there. Well, our tour guide picked us up. 9 o'clock on our way, driving for 10 minutes, and he turns around to us and he says, oh yeah, no horse riding today, too cold. Oh, is it? Yeah, too cold for the horses that live here. Okay, yeah. Fine for us, is it? Yeah, all right. Just checking. Yeah. And then another 10 minutes pass. He's like, oh yeah, archery? Yeah, too cold. Too cold for the archery. I was like, oh, is it too cold for the strings, is it? He's like, yeah, it's too cold. Too cold for the strings, might snap. So, genuinely no archery. So all we're doing, we're driving an hour and a half into the countryside to go have dinner with some people in a year. That was it. But we were already halfway there, so we might as well. So we got there, he pulls up the car, and it's got to minus 30 at this point. I'll be honest, past minus 20, it's about the same. It's about the same, you don't really feel it that much more. But staying out in it for longer, that's where you notice it. I was wearing a H&M coat, 2 jumpers, jeans, and some Adidas suede trainers. Suede. I deserved it, really, didn't I? They were ruined. Walked for 20 minutes to this yurt, and the last 5 minutes of that journey, I have no memory. Like, genuinely, I blacked out. I was still moving, I was still walking, but I came to in a yurt, my head between my legs, next to a furnace. Like, genuinely. My friend said, I got in there, straight away, I just put my head in between my legs, started rocking, and every time he asked me, are you alright? I was like, just laughing, like, no idea why. And I finally came to, and he was just looking at me going, are you alright? And I was like, yeah, I'm fine. And yeah, warmed up, I started to feel okay. And dinner was going to be ready in half an hour. So he was like, oh, well, what most people do now is they go and have a little wander around. Do you want to go and explore? Me and Annie looked out the window and went, well, I just want to check this. Is it the same as the... Still 5 miles of snow, is it? Yeah, we're all right. We're fine. And he genuinely looked so upset by that. He was so upset that we didn't want to go out. And he was like, oh, is it the cold bothering you? Yeah, just a bit, yeah. He said, don't worry, got some thick coats next door. Put them in the car. Like, what are you doing? He got these coats out, military grade, like long down here, like Arsene Wenger coats, like they're like down here, so thick. And he was like, yeah, put these on, no problem. So we did, and it was better. But at the end of the day, it's still minus 30, so it's still fucking cold. And we're out there, we're walking for 5 minutes, go, just check, yeah. Still shit? Yeah, still shit over here. What you got over there, Hand? Yeah, still shit. yeah, still shit. Should we pop back in? Yeah, let's pop back in. Shit out there, isn't it? So we popped back in, and no word of a lie, we walked in, all 3 of them, the 2 people in the yurt and the tour guide, were asleep. No wonder they want us to go out. They were, fucking hell. They were all asleep, and they were so put out that we woke them up. So we just waited for 20 minutes. They wouldn't even talk to us for those 20 minutes. They were just like, like, we were such an imposition. We paid 80 quid to fucking eat some potatoes. And they were just treating us like we'd done everything wrong in the world. They had a dinner, and it was good. It was good, you know, some yak's milk and stuff like that. It was really nice, actually. It was very good. And we having some like really strained small talk about Portsmouth for like the 10th time. So, yeah, we're from Portsmouth. No, it's not Plymouth. And like I was looking at him, and he was looking at his phone, and he started to like get a bit worried. He was like, "Oh, we should go." And we're like, "Oh, why?" He's like, "Oh, there's a storm coming." Oh, good. Yeah. So he was like, "We need to leave now, otherwise we're just gonna get right in the middle of it. Like it's already started. We need to go." So we started walking. Got the fit coats on this time, so it's a little bit better. But this time it's minus 36. It's a real feel of minus 40. And you've got gusts of wind, snow and sleet coming at your head. I've got that little fucking hat on from H&M. Got a scarf pulled over my face. My eyes are battered. Didn't wear glasses in that day for some reason. Probably should have goggles, isn't it? But yeah, coming at me, and we're walking for 10 minutes, and he does the thing you don't want a tour guide to ever do. He turned around and went, "Is the car this way?" So there's no horse riding, no archery, just some potatoes, and you forgot where the fucking car is. Genuinely forgot where the car... You're joking, right? And he was like, "Oh, I think it's this way." And the worst part was, me and Andy thought it was that way. Like, we were like, we're fairly certain, and correct us if we're wrong here, mate, because we don't live here, but we think it's that way. And he was like, "Oh, are you sure?" No, we're not sure, actually. And he started to walk off, and we followed him. But he turned around and said, no, wait here. And we were like, what? Like, I think the only thing keeping us alive is our fucking like blood pump. And he genuinely said the words, "Stay here, because if all 3 of us go, we might not all make it back." Genuinely, he said those words to us. And that's when I started to realise this is serious. Like, this is genuinely quite terrifying. And he disappeared really quickly. Like, he got off and, like, because of the sleet, you can only see, like, what, 5 metres ahead of you, if that. And he just disappeared, he dropped off the map. And me and Andy just, like, looking at each other, good innings. And it started off as a joke. It did start off as a joke, but then it got serious. And genuinely, we said goodbye to each other. Like, we hugged for warmth. I looked him in the eye and told him I loved him. Which is true, I do. And genuinely we said goodbye to each other, like hugging for warmth. I cried. I don't want to say for him, but I cried. Doesn't take much to make me cry. I cried, and we're like hugging for warmth. And I'm doing that thing in movies. I'm playing like a highlight reel with my head because I'm such a loser. And I'm like going, oh, that was good, wasn't it? Yeah, that was good. Would have done that more. If only I knew. And I'm playing all that in my head, and I just feel something on my right arm. And I'm like, oh, that's the ticker gone, isn't it? You know, that's what they say in movies, isn't it? Like, your fucking arm goes and you're getting a heart attack. I'm like, so cold, my heart has stopped. What is going on? And it goes again, and I'm like, oh. And I'm like, oh, fucking hell. Like, I'm dead. And I look up, just a tour guide. He's going, yeah, you were right, lads, over here. Yeah, guys over here. Guys over here, lads. And genuinely, me and Andy just looked at each other, like, pushed each other off and was like, yeah. Didn't mean any of that. I love, like, vagin that. Fucking tits. Fuck off then, you prick. And genuinely, hadn't spoke about it until I told him I'm going to tell this story on stage tonight. And he was like, yeah, go for it. Genuinely harrowing, like really harrowing. Yeah, go travelling. But my second year, as I mentioned earlier, right at the start, was at university. I taught at a university called Linkada. Great, and very different. You go from telling kids not to call themselves Apple iPhone 8, another name they wanted. Weirder because there was a 10 out at that point. To critiquing their fashion choices, which you had to do a lot of, because there were clothes like this. See you next Tuesday. And they won't have known what it meant. Genuinely, they would not have known what it meant. So I like the idea that someone bought it, moved to England, someone just walks past them like, cunt. And they'd be like, what did I do? Well, that'd be good. And my second year was the first time I had a proper relationship with a Chinese woman. She was a teacher from my first year school. Liked her a lot, got on really well with her, met her family, and broke up because of something that quite a lot of Chinese women do, which is called sadiao. And what sadiao basically translates to is adult sulking. So how it works is essentially when they don't get what they want, they throw their arms down like this. And then they start making these guttural noises like just like that. The first time I saw it was a couple on the bus, lashing it down outside, pissing it down. Bus driver pulls in, curb's a bit far, so there's a puddle in between. Now the lad, and I don't want to feed into stereotypes here, of that all Chinese men are short, because they're not. Some are fucking massive. Remember Tank? But this guy, little. He's a little lad. And he jumped off, no problem, on the curb, umbrella up, done. Looked back to his girlfriend, and she was like, well, carry me. He looked up, saw how big he was, how big she was, and went, what? Huh? And she said, why won't you carry me? And he fucking did it. That was all it took. That was genuinely all it took. And you're sitting there thinking, oh yeah, chivalrous, pathetic. Never. Because I'm British, so I hate confrontations anyway, and I'm really stubborn. Honestly, I've not been to the dentist in 8 years. Because I know he's going to have a go. He's like, they're a horror show. I'm like, yeah, I know, fuck off. A tooth fell out of mine last month. Just pushed it back in. Not giving him the satisfaction. So with me, I was in the market with my girlfriend, 2 full bags of groceries, and she was like, I need to touch up my makeup. Can you hold my bag? I looked down, both my hands. with what? Which fair, quite aggressive, but at the same time, with fucking what? Does she want me to carry it with my teeth? Because we all know they'd fall out. Okay, so she says, why won't you carry my bag? And I just walked off. I just left her. Like, genuinely left her in the market. Left her behind, got home, cooked, no problem. Hour goes by, she calls me up, and she says, where are you? I'm like, at home. What are you doing? Eating the food that we bought. And she's like, why didn't you come and get me? I said, I'm not your dad. You know, you're not a toddler, I'm not your dad. And she started to do it again. She started to sarjow down the phone, which actually is quite impressive, because we know the first step is that, isn't it? I could still hear her, so turned up the volume a bit, didn't she? And she's going, and I just fucking hung up. Done. And it won't surprise you to learn, broke up shortly after. Yeah. So that was the end of that one. But it isn't just China. It isn't just China where I've had bad relationships. I've also had loads here, which when I was single, depressing. Now I'm married, content. So pretty good. One I want to share is I went on a Tinder date with a girl who voted for the BNP. Yeah, British National Party, for anyone who doesn't know what that is. They're like UKIP on crack. And if you don't know what UKIP is, that's like the Tories, but not as well supported. Topical. I'll stop there. I went on a date with her, and it was a few years ago. I was like 24 at the time. She was a bit older. She was like 30. Didn't look it though. She didn't look it. She looked much older. She was gross. Yeah, she was rank. But it was in Portsmouth, so yeah. And in my defence, I didn't know she voted for the BNP before I went out with her. Didn't. But in full transparency, I did know before she gave me a blowjob. Not a complete animal though, didn't sleep with her, so, you know, just a blozzer. Just a cheeky blozzer, you know? Just a cheeky racist blozzer. You know, fine. And if you're thinking, Marcus, did she swallow? Guys, she voted for the BNP. Seaman's white. Of course she did. And I just want to leave you with a couple of stories from nights out. And one can't come back from that one. My first night out there, I hadn't known much, can't speak Chinese. A few of the lads who lived there for a few years took us under their wings. And one lad, who was a Geordie guy, who I fucking hated at the time, generally thought he was a right prick, but now he's in the audience, love him. And he came up to me, and warning, if you thought my Chinese accent was bad, wait for the Geordie. And he walked up to me and he said, "You wanna get with the girls, like?" Not even exaggerated, like that's genuinely me trying. You wanna get with the girls, like? All you gotta do, pet, you gotta walk over to the table, like, and you gotta say, "Wo ai Jonggu." That's it. Which roughly, well not roughly, it does translate to "I love China." That's it. So he told me that and I thought, what a shit. There's no way. He's trying to do us on our first night. There's no way that's going to work. But night got on and I thought, I'll give it a go. And walked over to the table, said, "Wo ai Jonggu," because I didn't know if it was Geordie accent or Mandarin at the time. Give it a go. And you know what? It worked. Like, it genuinely works. They invite you to sit down, they give you their phone number, buy you a drink. It's amazing. It's great. And that's really weird to think of, isn't it? Because that would never work over here. Can you imagine a guy just walking up to you being like, "Hello, I love England!" Fuck off. Like, genuinely, never going to work. But even though nights out are different, Brits abroad, always the same. Always the same. One night we ended up 4 a.m. in a KFC. My friend Andy, Frozen Beard, was in there and he wanted to order 6 Zinger Towers. But his Chinese is dog shit. So instead of ordering 6 Liao, he ordered Liao Shi, 60. And the woman behind the counter is like, huh? And he just said it again. He said Liao Shi. And she's like, what the fuck, Liao Shi? What the hell are you talking about? And he didn't know enough and he was too drunk to explain himself. So one of my friends, I think it was Dan, came in and took charge of the situation because his Chinese was much better. And he said, oh, Andy, she says you asked for 60. You don't want 60, do you? But Andy was in at this point. He was in deep. He went, yeah, 60. Like a fucking darts announcer, 60! And so Dan translated, yeah, 60. You want 60? Give the boy 60. And the woman looked around and was like, well, fucking... I can do 11. And he said, yeah. And he genuinely ordered 11. He ordered 11 Zinger Towers. And fair fucks to that man, because he sat down and he ate 6. Exactly what he wanted. Genuine. So good. I just want to thank you all for coming tonight so much. It's been such a joy and pleasure to share these stories with you. All of this comes from a point of love, place of love and warmth. I know sometimes it's hard to listen to a comedian and suspend your disbelief, right? Because, like, you're listening, you're going, yeah, it's good, isn't it? Yeah, funny, but didn't happen though, did it? Yeah, didn't happen though, did it? So when I tell you stories like, I sat down over my Eastern toilet and shat, you're laughing, oh yeah, funny, didn't happen though, did it? Yeah, didn't happen though, did it? I wish it didn't happen. It was so matted back there, I had to cut it out.
Oh, Marcus.
Sorry, Mum. And when I tell you things like, oh, I got a blowjob from a girl who voted for the BNP, you're laughing, going, oh yeah, didn't happen though, did it? Yeah, didn't happen though, did it? I wish it didn't happen. I married a Somali person, probably just to cancel that out. Just joking, because I love her. And when I tell you, oh yeah, I met an 11-year-old accordion-playing member of the fucking Hitler Youth, you're laughing, going, oh yeah, didn't happen though, did it? Yeah, didn't happen though, did it? Yeah, didn't happen though, did it? Didn't it? Thank you so much.